Hey everybody, it's Derek with the Swarm here, bringing you the Week 7 picks assured to be wrong. This week I'm fortunate enough to have one of our opponents this week's matchup. I have Bucket, a co-leader from Dark Looter Z. How you doing today, Bucket?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for being on. It's much appreciated. I know we got a big war that we'll kind of talk about when we get there. Well, thanks for taking some time to do.
Sure.
We'll jump right into the matchups, and we'll start with your guys' I guess sister clan or in your family of clans. Dark Looters at 4-2, taking on a 5-1 faked Wargasm team. I'll let you take it away.
I think I'm gonna go with Dark Looters. I know they lost to Immoral Thieves last week, but they beat Fake Wargasm twice last season, and I think they're gonna beat them a third time this time. I,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a pretty. I think they're going to win this one. I think especially coming off of a loss, they're going to be a little bit extra motivated. And even though they do have two losses already on
yeah,
this season, I don't think that discredits them at all.
yeah,
I saw, they're looking to kind of add to their rank. So if you're a German-speaking player, feel free to contact them. But I think they'll be able to take this. And that's not taking away anything from Fake Wargasm. I thought they've actually had a very impressive season so far, starting off 5-1. Probably a lot of a surprise pick for a lot of a lot of people. But I just don't think they're going to be able to match up with a probably extra motivated Dark Looters team.
yeah. I wouldn't want to be the clan to face Dark Looters after a loss.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, and I just think that's one I'm gonna one of the reasons I'll kind of pick these really good teams after a loss. Well, next up we have 3-2 Clantanamo Bay taking on the 4-2 Swamy Kcha. I finally think I pronounced that name right. I'm so happy right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Clintano Bay. Like, in my opinion, they're like one of the most underrated teams in the league. We faced them like a week before CWL invite started, and they smashed us. Their TH10 base building is really different from what we were used to,
Uh huh.
and they also beat by forever by 5 stars I think last weekend, and I think they're gonna beat some Codcat by at least 4.
Wow. I'm going the opposite side. I am taking Swami Cat, but I'm jumping on their bandwagon a little bit. Like they kind of struggled early in the season, and they're kind of coming around. But I do like. I mean, this one was one I struggled a lot because I'm like, I think Clantanamo Bay, just like you said, I think they're a pretty underrated squad. They're of all the 3-2 teams. I guess they're because they had that one matchup they got to remake or make up with the loss, but I believe who's who it's with. But they are a team that I think is pretty underrated for their record. That they are much better than what the record shows, and they certainly
Yeah, I
can be.
agree.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I won't be surprised if Guantanamo Bay does pull that off, pulls off a win here. But I think Swami Cat's just kind of in a groove and really doing well, and I'll go with them. The next, we'll jump into the kind of the bottom feeders of these two divisional matchups here. We got Power COC at 2-4, sitting 2 games out of first place in their division, and Cold September at 1-5, sitting 4 games behind Faked Wargasm at the top of theirs. Uh, both clans are going to be looking for a win here, try and keep their playoff hopes alive, uh, especially for Cold September because they have 2 teams that have very good records in their division. But yeah, so who's going to come away and get the win and keep their season going?
I know Power COC lost a couple of players after last weekend, but I think they're still going to be able to take the win.
I
I
didn't
just don't see Cold September beating Power COC.
I didn't know they lost anybody, but I was kind of like, oh well, I hope that doesn't hurt my pick too much. But I also went with Power COC. I just think I don't know what's going on with Cold September. They had that one like the kind of
Yeah,
stressful issue at the beginning of the season where they didn't have enough people. Then they got the win right after that, and then they haven't won since. So I think until they kind of can string together a couple wins, I'm gonna not be picking them. I mean,
yeah,
up
I
against
agree.
pretty much any other
I
squad.
agree.
The next, I think we have another team that I would think would be a pretty big surprise this season. Elite Gaming sitting at 3-3. Wouldn't expect it. I don't think a lot of people would have expected them to be doing quite that well this season, or this far into the season. And then the Lost at 2-2. Still having to make up some matchups. So hopefully by the time this comes out, they're still 2-2, and I know they're doing some midweek wars to catch up. But
Yeah, I'm gonna think. I think the Lost is gonna win against Elite Gaming. They beat Spartan's Legacy by 5 stars last weekend, and they had a really really close vote against Fake Wargasm, and they lost by 1 star, I think. And yeah, I think they're gonna beat Elite Gaming for sure.
yeah, I did watch the stream when the Lost faced Fake Wargasm, and that was just a heartbreaker. Fake
Yeah,
Wargasm got a 10v10 right at the buzzer. I mean, just an absolutely great war to watch. I would not have felt that if I was in the Lost, but I do think they'll come away with the win. I think they're just like a really, really strong team. They did, like you said, they beat Spartan's Legacy pretty handily, and then, I mean, they barely lose to Fake Wargasm, who's obviously a real team, really highly talented, and then they barely lost to Dark Looters. I mean, it was like a 4-star victory, but up until like kind of the end of that war, it was very, very close. Um, so I think they will move to 3-2 on this season, send Elite Gaming under 500, and then kind of continue their ride. I know the Lost really has a lot of pressure to try and if they want to try and win the division or have a shot at winning the division and getting into the playoffs. They'll need
yeah,
to string together some wins here. So next up, we have the Witch Division taking on the Bowler Division, and we have a 3-3 PWC team coming off a really heartbreaking loss to the North Watchers last week, and a 1-5 Mariana Trench team that's coming off of another. I didn't get to catch that war, but they're coming off of a loss to the WHF team there. Keep
yeah.
leading off if you don't have a problem with that.
I think both clans are struggling. Mariana Trench a lot more than people expected,
Mm-hmm.
me included. But I think PwC is gonna beat Mariana Trench.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Little bit you had some inside information with the Power COC losing people. So one of PwC's best tens was away for like a week and a half or 2 weeks, basically between right after week 5, and he missed week 6, but he should be back for week 7. I know this because he's also in one of my clans, and he's back, and he will help get them back on track, I think. So I'm picking PwC to win in this one as well. And I agree with you. Mariana Trench, they're really struggling. I mean, down to 1-5 is a really tough record to kind of handle and deal with there. But I think a lot of people expected a lot more out of them, and that's why I think PwC is going to kind of right that ship with this, because they're still in the heat of the division race. They're only one game behind 6S, so they want to try and take that division, I'm sure, and they're going to do everything they can to get it. Next up,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Next up, so we have the division leading I guess a battle between division leaders. This 4-2 Six Schlitzes team and the 5-1 One Hive squad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure one is gonna win. They have a really really good TH10 squad over there, and if their ton of 11s manage to go perfect on dips, I don't think there are many clans that can beat them this season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I do think it's One Hive, and I think it's all the points you said. The strong Town Hall 10 play. The 11s they need to be going perfect on their dips, and I think that will happen, or I think it has the chance to, and they're kind of going to keep working that out. But they're a really deep team, and a lot of clans, pretty much every clan, I would think would at some point say, be like, man, we had an off war, and a lot of them come away with losses in those off wars. And One Hive certainly had an off war to you guys. I know when they faced you guys, probably you may, you're not saying you would have lost the war or anything, just saying that I'm sure you guys were expecting a much closer war than what the scoreboard ended up being. And but they do find most of the time that even when they kind of have these off wars, they find a way to win, and that's what good teams do. So that's why I'm going to trust in that their consistent performance continues. They'll keep finding
Yeah,
ways to win.
I agree.
Next up, we have Emphatic Elite at 3-3, and people who kind of listened to my recap from the Swarm facing them, I was very impressed with how well they did at some areas, particularly their 11v10 game. And then facing a 1-5 Midwinters team that I haven't had the pleasure of seeing firsthand. But
Yeah, we just wore Midwinters last weekend,
uh-huh.
and they were a lot better than expected. Because I heard they merged with Pigeonism, I think, like a week or two before, and it definitely showed. Like their Town Hall 11 base building was really good, and we only managed to get two 10v10s,
Hmm.
which was the lowest amount of 10v10s we got this season by far. And we also struggled a lot on dips, so I think Midwinter is gonna take it.
I I'm disagreeing with you here, but that I don't. I think that that's interesting to hear. It's good to hear that they're doing well. Um, but with where I'm sitting, I'm thinking it's Emphatic Elite. Like I said, they've really just impressed me with how well they performed. Because I know early in the season they kind of struggled with their dips, but they went like they only failed one dip versus us, and it was 5 10v10s or 5 11s, and they had like 4 10v10s, and some of them were pretty cool plans. And we we were pretty we were pretty impressed by that. We definitely expected kind of more dip fails out of that, so I think it's a good sign for Emphatic Elite, and I think that's what's going to end up keeping being the difference. Though I haven't seen much from Midwinter since this merger, so if that's the case, this could be one of the really good wars to watch, even though the records may not say that.
Yeah, we'll see.
So next up, we have Annihilate at 1-5 and Kcha at 3-3.
I'm a low key Kensha supporter, so I'm gonna go with the Japanese squad over there. Their Town Hall 11s are really good from what I've heard and from what I've seen on streams. And their Town Hall 10 plans are really, really creative. Like I haven't seen anything like it in quite a while because I like to watch their YouTube channels, even though it's in Japanese.
Uh-huh.
But it's good to get some ideas from them.
It's funny you say that because I have their I went and actually I was like, man, they gotta have a YouTube channel. I spent some time and found it, and it was just you watch some. It's because you see their raids on stream, and it's like, man, it'd be really cool to see these because they're very creative. They might be the most creative attacking clan in the entire league. Because it's just like weird, like things I'm not seeing them anywhere else. The
Yeah,
kind of
I
stuff they're
agree.
doing. So it's always interesting to kind of just open your mind to that new, like, oh, maybe that's a different way to like be looking at bases. But I think they're one that will take this win, get over, and they're trying, not just kind of coming around. They're trying to keep pace with One Hive and try and take a division win here in their first season. But I do think they'll get that done, get to 4-3, and keep that keep a 2 game lead between them and One Hive.
Yeah, I agree.
The next, we'll get into our conference here. We got the Archer Queen conference, and that's going to be headlined with the start. The first of the matchups is War Whales and at 6-0, and Killer Bunnies at 3-3.
Yeah, always no questions asked.
Yeah, I figured you'd be picking that. I'm also picking that. I'm disappointed if I think it's maybe the best named clans like Warring Whales and Killer Bunnies. Like just an absolute would be hilarious to see some animated thing of that. But I do think War Whales is just would make it a lot less fun. That they're gonna just some like I think this is gonna be one of the bigger star differentials in the league. See or this year the week. If I can talk, then that might help. So we'll get. I think War Whales does take that. Next up, we have on the flip side of things, we had two clans that were up and coming. I think actually, according to the standings, Killer Bunnies, by the way, is leading their division. So it was another matchup of division leaders. And
Oh wow.
Then we have kind of two teams that are both on like a little downward trend here. We got an 0-6 North Remembers and a 3-3 Spartans Legacy.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened to Spartan's Legacy. I honestly thought they'd go perfect or this season,
Yeah.
but something must have happened. I know a lot of players left, but I still think they're gonna beat North Remembers.
Yeah, I agree. I agree pretty much on everything. I don't know what happened to Spartans Legacy. I mean, a couple of the people who left Spartans Legacy are now in the Swarm, and I mean, we're super thankful for them. I got to give a little shout out to Destiny. I stole one of his bases in week 1 of the CWL season 1 that I still use on one of my alt accounts. I'm just too lazy. It's like it was a Town Hall 9 that just went Town Hall 10, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make a base till I drop all the defenses anyways. But those guys are the guys we've gotten have been very, very good, and I don't know what happened. I expected, and I think 3 weeks into the season they were 3-0, Warwells were 3-0,
Yeah,
you guys were 3-0, and we were 3-0, and I was like, man, kind of coming up this season, I think you could see you have a chance to see an undefeated Dark Leader Z squad taking on a Swarm that's undefeated, and then you could have an undefeated Spartans Legacy going up against an undefeated War Whales, and kind of getting like a little looking down the road, like, oh, those could be some really good matchups and streams to catch. But I don't think that'll be the case, but I do think Spartans Legacy does come away with the victory this week.
yeah. I think they're gonna bounce back though. Like they had a bad start last season too, but then they went like I think 6 out of 7 on their last 7 matches.
Yeah. I mean, if they win out the rest of the way, they'd be like 8-3 or something. So it would be still a very good season.
Yeah,
Next up, you have a very surprising 5-1 Immoral Thieves and a 2-4 Bada Bing clan.
yeah. I think Morphe's gonna win by a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
they beat Spartan's Legacy when they were good, and Dark Looters last week. So yeah, I think they'll smash for sure.
yeah, I think you're right. I think Moral Thieves does take it, and I don't. I mean, they've been pretty impressive. They had the 1 week that was one that people will never let them live down, but uh, if they can improve their consistency and continue to they perform like they did up against Dark Looters week in week out, they will be a team that could compete for a title. Because that's really the difference. A lot of teams have a lot of talent, but it's the consistency that separates
Yeah.
the middle of the pack ones from the upper ones. In the last matchup between the Hog and Golem divisions, we have a 2-4 Buy Forever team and a 1-4 One Hive 2.0 team.
I think by Forever's gonna win. They had a good showing versus Warwells 2 weeks ago, and they faced a very strong Clantanamo Bay last week. But I think they're still a lot better than One Hive 2.0.
Yeah, I think I agree. I just think Buy Forever is kind of good, just like underrated a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe they're kind of getting more to that overrated side because they haven't been winning some of these, but they're beating the teams they should beat. And if you look at the records, they should beat One Hive 2.0. I do think they'll do that. Okay, so we won't be picking this one, but it is the War of the Week by the voters. The two undefeated matchups, two of the three undefeated teams facing off here. We have the Swarm and Dark Leader Z. We'll just kind of talk about it if there's anything you want to say about the matchup, because I can let you know that we are very pumped. I mean, like we're working hard for it. We're working at bringing an A game. We know.
Same over here. Our baseball team has been working their asses off since our last CWL match, and we're really, really looking forward to the war this weekend. And I think a lot of people don't know that we faced the Swarm in 2 arranged wars before that, prior to the CWL, and we won the first one, and the Swarm smashed us on our second arranged war. So yeah, best of 3, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll be going for that best of 3. I actually had I have some buddies in North Watchers, and when I let them know, like, oh, they were like friends I hang out with outside of the game, and they messaged me and were like, yeah, so you guys are the War of the Week. He's like, you're going to see the best 11 bases you've ever seen. That's what he's like. We struggled so much with 10v11, and I'm obviously hoping we don't repeat that. But I am expecting, like, I'm not expecting us to see anything that's going to be, oh, this is how we do it on the first look type of deal. Like you sometimes usually see a couple bases that you're like, okay, we can hit this base and this base like this. I mean, I'm pumped for it. We're gonna have a 24-hour stream. Is gonna be covering this war, so you should be able to see like every attack. If you tune in, there's Shubaloo is gonna be posting a schedule. I will be streaming
Yeah.
part of it. I'm pumped and ready to go, and I know everybody on the Swarm side, and hearing everything from you, and I could kind of assume everybody on the DLZ side is.
Yeah, for sure.
The winner of this is certainly going to be the one, like, going to be favored to go undefeated through the regular season. So we'll see.
I agree.
It'll be a close one. I bet that's coming. This could be a war that comes down to percent. Like it really could.
I just hope we don't tie.
Oh yeah, that's tying on. Yeah, that it's funny because I was thinking about that and I was like, man, what if that happened? Like the Swarm tied War Whales last year, and like what if that goes on again? Like we'll just see. We'll see where the stars end up at the kind of Sunday night there. I guess late Sunday night for you guys, but best of luck.
Same to you.
Okay, we'll get in. Okay, the last couple ones we'll pick here. We won't be picking the Reddit Alchemy Tactical Ink match because there's not a replacement clan there. But we have a 3-3 War and Glory taking on a 4-2 Reddit Omega.
I'm gonna go with War and Glory. We ward War and Glory 4 times now, and they're a really, really strong clan. Their Town Hall 11s have been going perfect on dips for I think 5 weeks straight, and they have a good 11v11 hitter if needed. So I think they're gonna beat a Reddit Omega. Because I know they've been struggling a bit lately against WHF and against North Watchers the week before. So I think they're going to struggle again, and One Glory is going to beat them.
Yeah, I agree. They're actually my upset pick of the week for a record here. War and Glory has been doing really good on their dips. I think they're kind of getting their groove together in facing this level of competition, kind of coming up from a league. Last season, so I think they will take this win, and just the same kind of reasons you said. Reddit Omega performs pretty well a lot of weeks, but I think they let some clans hang around in the scoreboard when they really need to be like finishing them off, and I don't think you can do that to War and Glory and win a war.
It's what we've been talking about earlier. I think they lack consistency.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. We'll go into the last matchup here. We have a 2-4 North Watchers team coming off of a big win up against PWC, and WHF at 4-2, and they also are coming off of a win, I believe, against Mariana Trench.
This is going to be tough. Probably the toughest match to pick this weekend, but I think I'm going to go with WHF. They've been doing a lot better recently in the last couple of weeks, and I think if they have good Town 11 bases, because I know North Watchers struggles at 10v11, they have a good shot at beating North Watchers.
Yeah, I struggled picking this one too, but I've been picking Watchers a lot, and I figure that eventually I'll be due for them to win one, since I just picked against them and they lost. I figure I'm gonna go with them. I just think that I don't really have like a real good reason. Watcher struggles in a few key areas, but I feel like it's kind of just one of those the consistency thing. WHF seems a little inconsistent at times, and I think that Watchers is just going to be able to catch one of those inconsistent times and come away with the win.
We'll see. I'd like North Watchers to win because WHF is in our division.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that would help you out, because those two, Reddit Omega and WHF, both have they do have better records, and so it's a little bit closer to taking you guys in the division title
Yeah.
there.
Anything can happen.
Exactly. So at this point, I'll go ahead and throw up our picks on the screen. Bucket, thanks for joining me today. Is there anything you want to shout out or say before we sign off?
Thanks for having me, Derek. I've been watching these recaps for a couple of weeks now, and yeah, you're doing a great job. And good luck this weekend.
I appreciate that. It really means a lot. Obviously, I mean, I hope people get entertainment out of them. At least find me to be a little bit of an idiot, because I get most of my picks wrong, so that pretty much confirms it. Yeah, good luck to you guys. Like, obviously, as I told Itsu, who was on with me a couple weeks ago, I'm a big fan of your guys' family, so we're not taking this war lightly, and I'm sure it's going to be a great one. I hope you guys do really well. I just hope it's maybe like 1 star short, as I'm sure you guys are saying the same.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Until next time, guys. See ya.
Yeah.